If you're a medical student, a junior doctor, or a senior doctor and you're looking to work in the NHS but don't know how you're supposed to build your CV, then this is the right video for you. What is up YouTube? Dr. Waji here and welcome to my channel where I help you achieve your dream of becoming a successful doctor in Pakistan or the UK. And I teach anatomy on the side. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon to stay notified of the latest videos. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna give you 5 super effective tips that you can use to build your CV to land that first job in the NHS. While I was applying for jobs in the UK, I read through a lot of person specifications and I couldn't help but notice that there were some things that every employer wanted out of us. And these tasks are very achievable whether you're a medical student, whether you're a junior doctor or even a senior doctor. So let's get into this one. Number 1, the first thing, if you look through any of the person specifications on NHS Jobs, is going to be previous NHS experience. Now you might be wondering, how do I have previous NHS experience if this is my first NHS job? Well, the easy answer to that is a clinical observership, or you could call it a clinical attachment or an elective. Why do you need to do them? Well, because they show your future employers that you are familiar with the NHS. You have some previous NHS experience. So it's a great plus point to have on your CV. What's the best time to do one? Well, if you're at the end of your 4th year or in your final year of medical school, that would be the ideal time to apply for a clinical elective. However, let's say you're a graduate, you're coming to the UK to take your PLAB 2 exam, you could also do a clinical attachment at the same time on the same visa. Mind you, you should prepare for this in advance because the process can take a few months. So try to plan ahead and plan your journey, plan your PLAB 2 journey so that you can take your exam and get a clinical elective done at the same time. I personally did not have a clinical elective, but I still managed to get a job, so it's not mandatory. However, in my personal experience with seniors and colleagues, I did notice the people that had done an elective were able to find a job much quicker and much faster than me. So I definitely recommend doing that. How do you get one? Well, there are several different ways you can go about this. The first and the easiest way is, if you know a consultant in the UK, email them, tell them that you're coming to take your PLAB 2 or that you're a medical student, you're interested in coming for an elective, and would they be happy to take you on? That is by far the easiest way to go about it. However, most of us don't really know a consultant in the UK. Next best thing would be to ask one of your friends. If they're working in the UK, they could speak to a consultant on your behalf and maybe make a recommendation, and if the consultant would be happy to take you on. Again, not all of us have people that are working in the UK that would be so willing to help us out. So how do you do it on your own? Well, the best way I found was to Google clinical attachment UK, and you should find a whole list of various pages and different programs that are taking up IMGs for clinical electives. This should work out well for you. One little hack that I found out myself was typing into Google medical education department, write the city name, and then write hospital. So for example, medical education department, London hospital. And you should be able to see a bunch of searches that have a lot of useful information in them. And you click on them, you'll be able to see a lot of contact details, a lot of emails that you could send out to relevant education departments, HRs. All you got to do is attach your CV in the email, type up a very nicely worded email, and let them know that you're interested in doing an elective, and see how that goes for you. Second tip, research and audits. Now, I understand research might not be for everyone, but it is invaluable in boosting your CV and making it more recognizable. If you manage to publish one original article, one case report, that is good enough. That is excellent. This thing will help you further down the road when you're applying for your residency as well. For those of us that have no research publications to our name, start working on one. When you fill out the NHS Jobs application, there will be a section where they will ask you about the researches that you've published. In my opinion, instead of leaving that blank, you should say that you're working on one, but you should actually be actively trying to be a part of one. okay? Because during the interview process, they might just ask you for evidence of what you've done so far, where are you down the road. So it's okay if you don't have a publication, start working on one right now. And case reports aren't really that hard to publish. Original articles, you'll find a lot of helpful people in your own universities that are on such projects. Be enthusiastic, try to involve yourself in one of them. They will pay off in the long run, definitely. Number 3, teaching experience. They love teaching experience in the UK. If you can talk about a little bit of teaching experience you've done, you have done your CV a major favor. How do you get some? Well, if you've completed your medical degree, you've completed your house job, now you can apply for a demonstrator position for any of the basic science subjects. I don't know how it works outside of Pakistan, but that's the way it is done in Pakistan. Stay in that job for at least 3 months and collect some evidence, like feedback should be in the description below, and get one of your students to fill them out for you. So if you're teaching in a medical institute, that's a huge plus point. That would be regarded as formal teaching. But we as doctors do a lot of informal teaching and we don't even realize it, and you can use that on your CVs. So if you've ever done any bedside teaching with a bunch of medical students, you can mention that on your NHS Jobs application. If you've taught a nursing colleague how to read an x-ray, or taught some nursing students a little bit of bedside technique, then you can use that as teaching experience. You can even get those students to fill out a feedback form for you. And finally, you can, if you've not done any of those things, we've all studied in a bunch of groups, you can always talk about how you've been enthusiastic about helping others clear their concepts and how you've played an active role in helping people learn. So some sort of teaching experience would definitely benefit you. If it's on a formal level, that's the best thing to ask for. All right, number 4, resuscitation skills. If you go through the person specifications, a lot of the jobs are gonna ask you for ALS, advanced life support skills, in your clinical skills section. So in Pakistan, I do realize that there are no Resus UK recognized courses going on at the moment. So obviously the best you can do would be to complete an ACLS course back home. Or if you're in the UK for your PLAB 2 exam and you can afford to book yourself onto a ALS course, then there would be nothing better than that, because this will boost your CV by a lot. ALS has a lot of value, a lot of recognition over here. So if you can get yourself ALS certified while you're here taking the PLAB 2, it's nothing better than it. But if you can do it, you're at home, get yourself ACLS certified. It's not the same thing, but it is something. And this brings us to our 5th and final point, which is a well-written NHS Jobs application. Now, NHS Jobs applications are different from your CVs. You need to have both, and they need to be written well. You need to, I'm hopefully in the future going to make a more detailed video on how you're supposed to do an NHS Jobs application. But very briefly, the things that I want to emphasize are, in your NHS Jobs application, try to use bullet points. Try to stay to the point. Try to use terminologies that are relevant to the NHS. Like, for example, you were a part of the acute take. You used to attend ward rounds and board rounds and execute jobs according to the consultant's advice. You used to liaise with multidisciplinary teams to provide holistic care for your patients. You know, try to use a lot of buzzwords in your application. Avoid repetition. If you've talked about how you've worked in the ITU in your employment details, try not to reiterate yourself in the supporting details. For example, you've mentioned in your employment details that you used to take care of the acutely unwell patient. Mentioning that in the supporting details will not help you. Instead, you could phrase things in your supporting information like, I believe the role of F2 in acute medicine would be a good fit for me because I have managed several cases of PEs, upper GI bleeds, and acute exacerbations of asthma. I have the sound clinical knowledge and clinical decision-making skills that would make me a good fit for the acute medicine team. So while you did mention you'd worked in acute medicine in your employment history, you didn't exactly repeat the same thing in supporting information, but you just said how you used a bunch of buzzwords from the person's specifications and you linked it to your own experience and how that would make you more useful. So if you're someone that has been applying for a job for about a year and you're still not getting any responses, chances are it's because you need to rewrite your NHS Jobs application. You really need to give it a more personalized touch. In the supporting information, it would be valuable to mention something that is relevant to the specific trust you're applying for. If they're well known for their cardiology center, then express an interest in cardiology. If they are in a rural setting, tell them that you're sick of city life and you would be able to explore yourself as a person in that setting more. So you have to give it a real personalized touch to make the recruiters notice your CV. That about wraps it up. I understand it's a lot to take in, but just know that you don't have to do all of it tomorrow. Okay, it is a lot to take in. It does take some time to get all of these things done. They are not mandatory, I would say, but they will definitely help you land a job much faster by making your CV much more visible compared to the competition. My 2 cents would be, don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. It does take time. It's not gonna happen overnight. Take it one step at a time. Try to stay persistent and consistent with your schedules, and eventually your time will come as well. I hope you guys found this useful. Do drop a comment below. Let me know if you liked the video and what would you like me to do next. So this is Dr. Wajid signing off. See you in the next one.